In this recipe today, I'm doing about 5 pounds of potatoes. I'm going to do about not quite 2 pounds of onions, and then really everything else, about a cup of matzo meal, the 2 eggs, and everything else, salt, pepper, garlic to taste. Okay. So here we are in the food prep portion of making potato latkes. I'll talk more about the history of the latke in a little while, but since the food prep takes a little bit of time and it's going to make us cry, we're going to take care of this part first. So in the Litsky traditional family potato latkes, we have potatoes, washed but not skinned, because Grandma Gusta always told us that that's where the vitamins are. We have onions. We have matzo meal, which we'll use to help bind. We have some garlic powder, salt and pepper, and we'll also have a couple eggs making an appearance in just a little bit. Okay, so the goal is, with potato latkes, I like them shredded rather than blended. When I grew up, my mom and my grandma used to always put everything in the blender and make like batter. And after I took on the responsibility of family latke making, I changed the recipe. So here we are. I'll shred both the potatoes and also the onions in this lovely food processor. Let's see if we can get it to work. Voila. Okay, so now we just want to finish up all of the potatoes. Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome. But I can help.
Okay. Pretty easy when you have a food processor. Now, if you don't have a food processor, of course, you can do this by hand.
That's what I do. Takes a very long time.
Takes a long time, but use the larger, coarser part, and I think that will do just fine. And of course, the Maccabees, when we know the first latkes were made, did not have food processors. But
it's a good arm workout. Good for your hands.
That's right. All right, so we'll get the onions all done. Drop those in, Sharon, please.
Doing my part.
Sort of like the Vanna White of latke making. Okay, so now I think we're done with the food processing part. Okay, I'm going to take this off the food processor over the sink. Of course, you got to be really careful with the blades. And I'm just going to dump all that right in there. Okay. Okay, I'm just breaking the eggs.
Okay.
This one?
Yes.
Great. Now all I'm going to do now is quickly beat the eggs. Okay, just like we're making scrambled eggs. And then, personally, I like putting the spices in the egg mixture because then it will get fully infused into the batter. Not the batter. Into the potatoes and the onions. Okay. Now I said this is to taste. My family likes things kind of on the salty side, so that's how we do it. Okay. Finish mixing up our egg batter here. See how we're doing down here. Sometimes potatoes are very juicy, and you have to actually drain out some of the juice, because when you fry it up, that's what makes all the spatter. It's the liquid, the moisture that's in the potato and the onions. All right, so we'll get that in. Now, of course, if you're making latkes with little kids, like when I first started, this is really the good part, because it's dangerous to have the kids handle the hot oil with the fry pan. So put in about a cup of matzo meal and then mix by hand. That's why this is the fun part. Of course, you always get to give the kids a lesson about cutting onions and what happens when you cut up the onions. It makes them cry. Okay, so we've got this just about done. And then we're ready to go. And I'm going to pour in, I don't know, about half an inch or so into the fry pan. And I'm going to take it up to about 375 degrees, which is right at the middle of the fry setting on the electric fry pans. And we'll get that nice and hot. So, and I'm going to try the oil. It's always good to try the oil before you put a whole one in. So we're almost there. It's sizzling just a bit, and I just want to be a little bit hot. So I'm going to go ahead and load this up. So first I'm going to just mix up my mixture. Make sure that everything is uniform. All the salt and pepper and garlic is spread evenly throughout the potatoes and the onions. And I'm going to take in a serving spoon. I'm just going to pack it in to 1 serving spoon size. And then we're just going to lay it right into the oil, tamp it down just a little bit. Now some people like these bigger, some people like them smaller. I find that if you do enough just for a serving spoon, that's just about the right amount for me. And that way, it allows the oil to permeate through the shredded potato and onions, so we get most of it to a nice golden brown, and the insides are cooked properly as well. Okay. That's 3. And when I put them into the fry pan, I also like to not have them touching one another, so everything gets nice and golden brown. I'm not really after a uniform look. I think it's kind of fun to have them be a little free form. Okay. See, it's already starting to smell like honey. Okay, so we're just going to let that cook down for a while, and then we'll flip them, and then we'll enjoy it. Still cooking, but what I did was I got a little tray with some paper towel ready, because that's what we're going to use to drain the excess oil off of the latkes. And I'm just going to turn this up a bit, because we know that everybody's fry pan is at a different temperature. So I'm taking it up to about 400 degrees, and that'll just help things cook a little bit faster. Now, one of the things we also know about latkes is that everybody's got their own favorite recipe that they had with their, Bubby and Zadie and their parents. This is traditional for the Litsky Proskauer family. And but I did Google potato latkes, and I only found that there are 375,000 hits. So that means that a lot of people have a lot of personal recipes, but when I looked at them, it wasn't just offering the recipes. And I think that's really one of the wonderful things. It was offering the remembrances of what did a potato latke mean to that individual who was submitting the recipe. However they learned, whatever ingredients they used. These are warm, generation to generation memories that really, I think, infuses Judaism in how we treat food symbolically with our traditions and our religion. So, we're almost done to make a flip, and I'll show you what it looks like. Right there is about how I like to have them done. So, first batch, of course, is always an experiment, and we'll fry them up and see how they taste, and then we'll do the whole batch.
So how can you tell when they're done?
Well, I tend to peek. I think the best way, rather than timing it, is just to look and make sure the outside is a nice golden brown, because that's going to ensure that it's crispy on the outside and fully cooked through on the inside. Okay? Well, we might try this one. I think this one might just be ready. So just kind of drain off a little bit of the oil on the side of the pan and take it out And there it is. Everyone comes out different, kind of like snowflakes. But everyone's going to be just delicious. Okay. Nope. So we'll leave that cook again, and tell you what I'll do. Let's just see if we can't tear that apart. And you can actually see on the inside that it's cooked all the way through, it's soft, and we'll just let it drain for a minute, and then we'll have to sample.
Part of the job.
Okay. Absolutely part of the job. Let's keep our little assembly line going.
Okay.
And we'll take out this guy. And then what I do is I put a layer down of latkes, put a paper towel on top, and just keep on layering them up.
Ready?
Yeah. Go right ahead.
Now, do I need to add extra oil throughout?
You may need to, because it does soak up some oil. Again, I put in about ½ an inch.
Okay.
Maybe that much. And that way it cooks it as fast as possible.
Is it time to try it now?
Please, you be my taster.
First latke of the season.
Enjoy.
Perfect. A little hot,
A little
but
hot,
perfect.
but perfect. How are we doing here, Sharon?
We're doing excellent.
Okay, so what I thought I'd do is, while we're continuing to make these, let's see, yeah, this guy's done. I'll show you how I like to plate them, considering that they're not taken off right off the cooling rack. Some people grew up eating latkes with applesauce, and some with sour cream. So I'll just make one each. Put those right there. In my family, we preferred applesauce. But you can eat whatever you like. That should be behind it, shouldn't it? Okay. And I'll tell you that would not last very long in my house if I were to put that out on the table. People would just gobble them up, right?
That's not going to last very long right now.
It won't last very long right now either, but here we are. Okay. So that's it from Sharon and myself. I'm Rick Litsky, and we hope you enjoy the Litsky traditional potato latkes, and happy Hanukkah. And don't feel bashful to make them at other times of the year.